Welcome to Mind Body Monday, and I'm so happy that you have joined me here live. And for those of you who are watching the replay or listening to the podcast, welcome. It's great to have you here. And once again, I invite you, if you're watching a replay or here live right now, go ahead and chat with me, because I'll deal with some of your questions towards the end of Mind Body Monday. And if you're watching a replay, go ahead and place your comments in the comment box, and this way I'll be able to respond to you and we can grow our community this way. So if you've been doing everything right and still not managing to balance your weight, to lose that weight, the good news, it's all quite fixable. And we're going to be looking at quite a radically different paradigm to the traditional paradigm today. So I really hope that you will get as much from this as my patients do. So what we're going to be learning today is what's the big thing with losing weight and a healthy weight? What's it really all about? And I'm going to share with you towards the end of Mind Body Monday today one very surprising reason that may cause us to eat the foods that we don't want and shouldn't be eating, and how to address that. And then I'm going to be looking at 8 possible reasons why people aren't successful, what those traps are, and what you can do about it. So go ahead as we kick off on Mind Body Monday. Just I'm curious to hear in the chat, how many of you are actually struggling with weight issues, to put on weight or even to lose weight, or should I say that the other way around? And also, because Mind Body Monday has a focus on gut issues, and we're going to see a little bit why and how that plays in today. I'm curious, go ahead and type in the chat, how many of you have any weight struggles? What are they? And do you have a digestive problem? This way I can tailor make the Mind Body Mondays for you, which is what it's really all about. So as you're going to do that in the chat, I just want to bring awareness to a phenomenal statistic. With every year that passes, more and more Americans are becoming overweight and obese. And what this metabolic epidemic, it accounts for over 21% of all health costs in the States today. And the CDC estimates that over 1/3 of Americans are obese and 1/3 are overweight, meaning that less than 1/3 of the American population actually has a healthy weight. So the downside of this major epidemic is the entry to disease. It makes us more susceptible to whatever is going around, and particularly really creates an environment for diabetes, heart diseases, cancers, arthritis, and really so many chronic health diseases and longevity challenges rather are tied into the weight conundrum, and we're going to look at that. So some folks have typed in the chat, thanks very much. Yes, gut problems and trying to lose weight. Great, thank you. You are in the right place. If you see me looking over to the side, that's because I got 2 screens. That way I can see you all and monitor the chat. And someone else has written, yes, I have weight problems, losing weight, and also digestive issues. Well, welcome to you, because you are in the right place. And a few months ago, I saw a 45-year-old male patient who'd been struggling to lose weight for pretty much most of his life. He was called all sorts of nasty names as a kid growing up. And he really was challenged with this. And as we work together, and I'm going to take you through some of the protocols and some of the concepts that I worked with him. But he really started to turn the corner when he finally understood that he has to actually get healthy to lose weight, and not to lose weight to get healthy. And this made all the difference, and you're going to understand why shortly. In other words, he had to focus on being healthy and becoming healthy in order to lose the weight, and not to lose the weight to become healthy. And it sounds like a word salad, but it's not really, and you'll understand why shortly. So this is Mind Body Monday. And being Mind Body Monday, I always like to introduce some sort of mind body meditation, breathing experience, some sort of experience to connect the mind body system, because it is really one system. Whatever we experience in our body, our mind and soul experiences, and whatever experience in our mind, emotions, and our soul, our body experiences, all one system. So when it comes to how we show up in the world, our perception of our body can generate all thoughts, all types of thoughts and feelings, and may preoccupy most of one's thinking. But many of us, through the critical lens through which we view ourselves, it's not really an accurate reflection of how other people view ourselves. And actually last week, I saw a young woman who has been suffering from acne most of her teenage life. And she was a really beautiful soul, but really couldn't see her inner goodness because of how her skin looked and what she had to face. And I face in the mirror every day. And I really got it at the same time as we work to detox her body and balance her hormones, which part of this strategy for weight balances as well. Hopefully she'll become to really connect to her innate goodness, regardless of what her body form, or in her case, her face looked like. So even so, it's very common for many of us to struggle with body image issues, regardless of our age, our size of our body, or our shape of our body. In fact, a very interesting study of American adult women, 47% of these women experienced a body image dissatisfaction in a survey. And these figures were pretty similar with males as well. In a survey of over 50,000 adults, 41% of men thought they were too heavy, and 16% of them said they would avoid wearing a swimsuit in public. So body image is a really big issue, and it ties in to our topic today, and we're going to cover that a little bit more. So for Mind Body Monday, let's just do a check-in process. It's a modified check-in process in keeping with the theme today. If you're driving, then stay focused safely on the road. And if you're able to sit back and relax and close your eyes, then I invite you to do this, because an eyes closed process helps you to connect more deeply to really what's going on inside. So we'll take a couple of minutes to do this mind-body meditation process, and then we'll hear some comments in the chat, and then we'll progress with what I want to share today. So taking a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, if you're comfortable, you can allow your eyes to softly close, allow your shoulders to drop down, and taking another nice deep cleansing breath in. And this time as you breathe out, feel your back against the back of the chair, with feet resting softly on this floor. And just allow your mind to let go of the stresses and busyness from your day, or anticipation of all the things that need to be done, and just carve out 10 minutes, 5 minutes for this mini process now, to be really present as much as you can. You can always catch the replay to do it again as well. So as you continue to breathe in a relaxed and comfortable way that's natural for you, connect to your breathing. Just notice that you are breathing. Connect to the rhythm and cycle of your breath in your body. Noticing where you feel your breath the strongest. Some people it could be at the belly, some people at the chest, some people in the throat or nostrils. There's no right or wrong place. Just notice where you feel yours. And then taking a moment to check in with yourself and pay attention to the sensations in your body. Do you feel light or heavy? Noticing if your body feels energized or tired. Does your frame feel strong enough to support your body? As you continue to breathe at a pace and rate that's natural and comfortable for you, just softly draw your awareness to any possible emotions It may come up for you as you focus on your body. You see your body in the mirror. You dress your body every day. Just notice what emotions come up as you consider your body, reflect on your body for a moment, and suspending any judgment or comment or criticism for now. You appreciate everything your body does for you. You feel warm feelings towards your body. You like your body. Or perhaps you notice negative feelings and judgments towards your body. Paying attention to whatever is here, because this is important in clearing the pathway to healing. And just notice if you can pay attention to these feelings without judging them in any way. Because at the end of the day, the truth acknowledged will set you free. It always does. Now shift your attention to possible judgments about your body or your weight. And notice if there are any stories about your attempts at weight loss or weight balance, and the possible conclusions you may have made about yourself about these attempts. What does it mean about you? Just notice that compassionately, without judgment. Notice if there are any new insights or perceptions or awarenesses, body sensations coming up for you now as you take a moment just to reflect. And just reminding yourself, at the end of the day, that the body is the temple for your soul. And the fact that you are here today participating in Mind Body Monday means that you are already taking steps towards caring for your body and caring for your well-being. And then when you're ready, just allowing yourself to take a deeper breath in and softly opening your eyes, coming back to the session. And go ahead, if you're willing, just to type in the chat what you noticed. What experiences did you notice? What thoughts did you notice? What came up for you? And if you're watching the replay, you can do that as well. Type that in the comments. And as you're doing that, the research says that there are so many so-called weight loss solutions out there. In fact, the weight loss industry is a $78 billion industry, offering countless of ways to get skinny quick, the next magic potion, magic pill, or product. And my patients bring them in or call me or email me and saying, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And it's still not working. And why does this problem keep gaining on us? Excuse the pun. And in my opinion, the problem is the desire for a quick fix. And I get it, I understand it, or an easy and immediate solution. Unfortunately, the truth is that there is no magic pill that will suddenly erase weight and restore health. There are surgeries, there are operations, and they're not necessarily all they're made out to be, and they require some research and understanding before opting for those. Now, the interesting thing here is that conventional wisdom tells us that the key to weight loss is based on the rough concept of calories in versus calories out. That is, if you take in fewer calories than you burn, you will lose weight. And it really doesn't work like that. That's not how experience bears out. In fact, this leads to a yo-yo dieting and marginal success or short-term success at best. And at worst, low eating calorie diets may not be helpful at all. They may be not nutrient dense and could even lead to something called weight loss resistance, which is a well-known phenomena that can make losing weight very challenging So the question is, are we doomed to this societal increase in obesity? And the answer is, I don't think so. There is a missing link between lifestyle and a healthy body weight. And we're going to explore some of those strategies today. So someone's written up in the chat here, noticing light pains, which I usually ignore. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So as a functional medicine practitioner and working in private practice for over 30 years, my goal is always to look for the underlying causes of chronic issues like weight gain or weight loss resistance. And what I know from years of experience with patients who have these problems is that there is not one reason for this. There are many reasons that cause it, and very often many approaches that are required to bring a solution. There are many pieces to this puzzle, but there is one key I see time in, time out to this sort of weight loss resistance issue. And the key really is going back to the gut and the microbiome, which I'm going to discuss a little bit. And you can think, what's the gut got to do with it? And the truth is, let's have a look, because it has a major role. So the gut is home to trillions of bacteria, and this community is collectively known as the microbiome. In fact, our body is comprised of about 15 trillion human cells and about 90 trillion bacterial cells. So the bacteria in our bodies contain at least 150 times more genes than the human genome. In a way, we are more bacteria than human on some level. And it turns out that the composition, the makeup of our microbiome has a very distinct effect on how much we weigh, and the influence and the composition of that microbiome influences our dietary choices. And this is what I'm going to come back to in a little bit. So, for example, the standard Western diet filled with refined grains, sugar, inflammatory fats like canola oil, mayonnaise, vegetable oils, corn oils, soybean oils, all processed oils, food additives can lead to inflammation in the gut. And this inflammation leads to leaky gut, and leaky gut allows endotoxins, which are toxic products that shouldn't be in our blood, to come into our blood and create systemic inflammation. So this systemic inflammation can also lead to an interesting syndrome called leaky brain syndrome, where a lot of these endotoxins find its way across the blood-brain barrier and actually affect the brain as well, leading to problems with the hypothalamus and something called leptin resistance. Now, I know that was all a mouthful for some of you, but I'm just going to ask you to hang on, because it's going to come clearer. And the reason I'm expanding in this way, as simply as possible, is to let you know that the reason you've been struggling is because it isn't necessarily so easy. There are so many diets and so many, so big is the industry. If it was so simple to solve, we would have a solution already. So by opening our eyes a little bit to the complexities and then looking for a simple approach, then not only will we have more compassion on ourselves, but more greater vision to inspire us to make the long-term changes that are necessary. So I mentioned the word leptin. So leptin is a hormone produced by fat cells. And leptin is sometimes called the satiety hormone. It really inhibits hunger and regulates our energy balance. So the body does not trigger responses when it does not need energy. So having a proper leptin hormone balance in the body is a very healthy thing, because it regulates our ability to stop eating when we no longer need to eat. But however, there's something called leptin resistance. And this is when the brain doesn't get the message. So basically, a person stores fat and stays hungry, which is part of this problem, part of this conundrum. So there are conditions that define weight loss resistance. For some people, they struggle. The struggle begins at childhood, and some even way before that by C-section birth and frequent antibiotic use. And you can think, C-section, antibiotic, what on earth has that got to do with my weight? So let's go back one step and understand that we acquire the seeds of our unique microbiome during our trip down the birth canal. And from that moment, our gut depends on our environment, what we eat, how often we go outside, play in the soil, get environmentally influenced and have pets even. And all of this creates a diverse bacteria that keeps us healthy and influences our weight to be optimal. So there are many, many factors that go into the formation of a healthy microbiome and then managing the microbiome. So, however, when food is poor and we are not exposed to, call it, dirt and germs of the world, always through a lot of sanitization and hand washing, and I'm not going there right now, but there's always two sides to every coin. Of course, we want to be hygienic, but too much hygienic situations can deprive our immune system of the resources we need, specifically in our microbiome, to manufacture all the nutrients we need and pathways we need to be healthy. So, in short, our processed diets and sanitized lifestyles may come with a price tag, more chronic disease and more obesity. So this is what I told my 45-year-old patient who saw me. I said, being overweight does not cause poor health. Poor health causes weight loss resistance. And it is a different perspective. It's a different way of looking at things. So weight gain and weight loss resistance are symptoms. And this is how I, as a functional medicine doctor, look at the whole world of weight loss. It's really, it's part of a whole syndrome. So the key to resolving weight issues is to really get healthy first. So we get healthy to lose weight rather than losing weight to get healthy. Now, this is the best and most sensible way to resolve problems like gut dysfunction, leptin resistance, which can help us get optimal weight and optimal health. So let's all take a nice deep breath in, sitting up in your chairs. Great. And I want to share with you my top 7 reasons that I have seen in my clinic over the last 30 years or so in why people are not successful in losing weight. And perhaps I'll inspire you to take the next steps. And also I'm going to share what we can do about it. So these are my top 7 reasons and what to do about it as well. So the first is really people set unrealistic goals. Now, goals are critical to success, but many people give up on their weight goals, weight loss resistance, because they are not realistic. They think they can lose a huge amount of weight in a short amount of time, or won't have to put too much effort or perseverance in it. And it's just simply not true. The key here is to make a fresh start, to begin again with realistic small steps, short-term goals, and not checking the scale every day, maybe once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, but set your sights on a 90-day program that begins with 1-week sprints. And that's a smaller, easier way to tackle this project. A lot of small steps can add up to significant mileage over time. But I want to share with you 2 amazing pieces of research that I use in my life. The first is research shows that just writing down your goals increases your success by 42%. Simply writing down your goals increases your success by 42%. But here's another key piece of research, that the American Society of Training and Development did a study on accountability and found that when you have that you have a 65% better chance of succeeding in your goal when you commit to somebody. When you commit to somebody that you are going to do this project, or commit to eating healthy, or going for your 20-minute walk 3 times a week, or whatever happens to be. However, they also said, so that gives us a 65% added advantage. But here's the amazing thing, that if you have a specific accountability partner with a person you've committed to, you will increase your chance of success up to 95%. So the first one was writing it down, gives us 42% success. And having an accountable, committing to somebody gives us 65% more success. But if you have a specific person that will help you be accountable to yourself, your success will go up to 95%. So that's a key piece about goal setting that I personally use in my life. Here we are in 2022, and it's a good time to think about goal setting. And this is 3 strategies to help us do it in a successful way. The second point, building on our meditation we did earlier, is really about emotional eating. Now, eating should be enjoyable, but when our attachment to food is used as a coping mechanism during times of stress or sadness or loneliness or whatever it is, it could be really unhealthy. If you're an emotional eater, then dealing with the underlying emotions that are fueling this eating is really, really important. And a way to do that could be mindfulness meditation or journaling, observing your thoughts and your emotions, and not judging yourself. Journal your inner dialogue that you're having with yourself, your emotions that are coming up, and perhaps even getting professional advice, seeking professional counsel to help you break this cycle. That way you'll be able to enjoy your food with zero guilt, at the same time eat when you are in an upstate rather than not. And taking this one step further is negative self-talk. And I'm mentioning these 3 items first because it's what shows up in my clinic the most. And the key piece here, and I mentioned this as well to this 45-year-old patient of mine, I said it's really hard to heal your body when you hate your body. And with a heart full of compassion, we looked at approaches to soften the edges and allow a little bit more softness, a little bit more compassion, and find a pathway to begin again in his health journey. And I often find patients who aren't able to get their health together, or specifically weight issues, because of years and years of self-loathing. And whether we think about these things consciously or unconsciously, it's so important to clear that through, because whether a person feels that they're worthy of love and good things and success, whether they think they are not worthy, then that's all a lie, because the truth is it's a false belief. We all are deserving of love. We all are at deep-rooted souls that are lovable, and success and happiness already coming to us. And these are the basic mindsets that are so important to take and deepen our health journey. And the best thing is to become conscious of whatever negative self-talk or body images here, work it through, find a trained professional who can, in a compassionate way, equip you with the skills that you need to move beyond that. Okay, so taking a nice deep breath, breathing out as we move into point number 4, which is poor sleep. This is so important, because irregular sleep cycles can lead to leptin resistance, which is what I mentioned at the beginning. And I mentioned that leptin is a hormone that's made in the body fat cells, and it tells our brain that we've had enough to eat. And when we don't get the sleep, the hours and the quality of sleep we need, then this leptin resistance can occur, and messages to the hypothalamus, the signaling part of our brain, don't happen. And then brain goes in sort of a hibernation or storing fat mode, which is all unnecessary. So eating less just makes the situation worse, because your body already thinks you're starving, and this stressful state can raise cortisol and cause adrenal fatigue, and the dominoes go on. So therefore, I tell my patients, seek to get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every single day. at least 3 to 5 times a week, nights a week, and preferably before midnight, because an hour before midnight equals 2 hours after midnight in its quality and effect on a biorhythm. Some of my patients tell me that they take a little nap in the afternoon, and on further inquiry, the nap is not a 20-minute or half an hour power nap, it's about 2.5 or 3 hours. The problem with that is that research shows that more than 40 minutes of an afternoon nap could then delay going to sleep at night. So that's something to bear in mind as well. So point number 5 is an equation: vibrant health versus weight loss. Now, a person could seek whole body health, vibrant health, or just weight loss, and they're not the same. Losing weight is not equivalent to getting healthy. That's really important. You know, cancer and arsenic, God forbid, will make a person lose weight, but they're not going to be healthier. And I consult with many skinny people who have high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and even heart disease. So it's not automatic that a healthy weight means a healthy body. Many people who are overweight, technically, could actually be relatively healthy. So weight gain is a symptom and not a cause. And therefore, weight loss is just an attempt at bandaging a symptom without getting to the root cause, which we're discussing today. So in order to get to your healthy weight, you have to get healthy. You have to get healthy to lose weight, and not lose weight to get healthy. So sustainable weight loss really is a natural byproduct of regaining health. If you get healthy, you'll look great, and as an awesome side effect, you'll balance your weight. So I want to come on to 2 more strategies, and then we're going to begin to wrap up with some things you can do at home. So a key piece to this whole weight loss issue is poor microbiome health. What we eat will either feed and nourish our microbiome or damage or destroy it. So if you're eating a diet full of processed foods, sugar, and those processed oils, then that is going to knock the microbiome out and set in motion a domino of reactions that will metabolically disturb weight balance. And studies have shown that people who eat a wide variety of foods, and specifically cultured foods, cultured vegetables, fermented foods, sauerkraut, kefir, things like that, on a regular basis, have greater bacterial diversity. That means more good bacteria in the gut. And this has been correlated to lower weight and easier weight regulation. So taking care of the gut health is very, very, very important. Now, studies have shown that people who are overweight have less microbiome diversity, and that people who have leaky gut syndrome tend to be more overweight. So there is that correlation. And this can lead to metabolic syndrome, which can further perpetuate inflammation, hormonal imbalances, and make weight balance quite difficult. So I want to share with you that one surprising factor that may cause us to eat the foods that we shouldn't, that I mentioned earlier on. Now, the gut bacteria, a microbiome, can have a very powerful ability to increase or decrease cravings, which means that the living organisms inside our gut essentially can trigger our body into cravings to eat certain foods or to not eat certain foods. So if a person has too many microbes or too much of the microbiome is fed and geared towards simple sugars and poor quality foods and carbs, then when you eat those, it will trigger more of the desire to eat those foods. And it's kind of a cycle. And so you can easily break the cycle by repopulating your gut with healthy bacteria, which will then begin to give you those healthy signals. Now, this doesn't happen overnight, but a slow, gradual process of every day adding 1 or 2 portions of genuine cultured vegetables, not the sauerkraut or pickled vegetables you buy in the store, because those have been pasteurized, i.e. heated, and the friendly bacteria have been destroyed if they were there in the first place, because I think they're good chemically. But if you culture them in your own home, or you buy them properly cultured and you have 2 portions a day, that way with time, it's going to change your microbiome. There's a lot more to discuss on that. And that's going to come, by the way, in my new program that's going to be launching in the first week of February. So, and more about that a little bit later. So the seventh point, and then we're going to look at some of the underlying or some of the strategies to deal with it, is stress. Now, mental stress plays a major part in healthy weight management, and chronic stress in particular has been implicated in adrenal fatigue, autoimmune conditions, digestive issues, which will all affect our weight. So stress alone can actually slow down metabolism and increase food craving. So I encourage all my patients to monitor their stress levels, just between 1 and 5, get a sense. 5 is high stress, 1 is pretty chilled. Where are you on this continuum? And what positive strategies do you take to manage your stress, to bring them down from a 5, from a 4, from a 3, from a 2, and hopefully at a 1. And if you get highly stressed, what do you do to positively and proactively and healthily bring those down? So I encourage my patients to practice meditation, which I've been doing since I was 16, or deep breathing techniques or gentle stretches to support them, perhaps journaling and getting some additional professional help. But there are so many healthy strategies. But stress is not like, oh yeah, I'm stressed. No, it's something we all are dealing with. There is so much uncertainty in our life today with everything that's going on. And our level of happiness is directly proportional to the amount of uncertainty that we can tolerate. So it's so important to manage our stress levels and begin to build a resilient microbiome and resilient mind to deal with this level of uncertainty and potential stress. So I did say 7, but I'm actually going to throw in 1 more because I like the number 8. Underlying physiological imbalances. So if you're doing all these strategies to get to a healthy weight and you're still not managing, then it could be the real problem is actually something else that's not being addressed. And as a functional medicine doctor, there's so much and so many tests that can be done to identify what's really going on. And some of these could be underlying hormonal imbalances, adrenal fatigue, gut conditions. I mentioned leaky gut, IBS, SIBO, etc., thyroid dysfunction, toxicity issues, liver issues. And all of these can get in the way of an efficient system and the ability to shed weight in a much easier way. So clinically investigating all these underlying issues is so important. And fortunately, functional medicine has a solution. There are very effective tests that can get to these underlying causes and identify what they are, and then begin to treat them. So the first one, these are 5 quick start tips to address the underlying imbalances. The first one is begin by getting a comprehensive gut diagnosis to test, to uncover any gut issues that may be going on. And because then that could be addressed. If it's leaky gut or SIBO or whatever the issue is, those could be addressed at the gut level, and then the hormones panel can be done and hormones could be balanced and get everything really sorted. And I like to recommend, this is point number 2, that patients or people focus on using food as medicine. So using food and natural medicines to correct any yeast issues or fungal issues or parasitic issues or bacterial overgrowth, which is a result from over antibiotic use or over medication use. And there are many, many foods and herbal medicines that are safe, tried and tested for long-term use to help reverse poor microbiome if there's a yeast or fungal infection. So it's very important to heal the microbiome, heal the gut mucosa and support the microbiome by healing foods. And one of my favorite is a bone broth to do this. And then finally, to populate the gut with friendly bacteria, fermented foods, I spoke about that, cultured vegetables, and then attend to detoxification as the last point. Detoxification of the liver and the lymph. And this can be done simply by increasing your water intake. We should be drinking about 1/2 to an ounce of water a day per pound of body weight. So, For most adults, it could range anywhere between 2 to 3 liters of water a day. And warm water is fine if you have a hard time drinking water in the winter, if it's cooler for you. Or just squeezing a little bit of fresh lemon juice in there to make it more easier to drink. And this way you'll be able to stimulate your lymphatic circulation to get going. And there are many, many other strategies, but these are 5-1 to get going. Okay, nice deep breath in as we begin to round up and breathing out. And in summary, remember that losing weight and balancing your weight is only part of a very important health journey. And as I tell my patients, being overweight does not cause poor health necessarily. It's poor health that causes weight loss resistance. And it's that functional medicine addresses in a very, very integrative and very, very holistic way. And this way, with all these strategies, you're able to take one step at a time, never give up, and keep moving forward, whatever you do, and all these goodness will eventually stack. Now, I always like to leave Mind Body Monday with a weekly challenge for those of you who would like. And the challenge today really, because I see it so often happening in my clinic, is at least one meal a day before you eat, remind yourself that your body is the temple of your soul and that you are worthy of love. You are worthy of love. You're worthy of success. You're worthy of health and all good things. And then with that mindset, you're able to continue and nourish your mind, your body, and your soul in the way that you know best. Thanks once again for joining me on Mind Body Monday, and I look forward to seeing you next week.